Hey, what's up, folks? It's Bunny Love, and I'm back with another review. I want to say a couple things first before I get into this review about Erica. First, I would like to say welcome to all new subscribers. I have a bunch of new subscribers. I want to thank you so much for following and wanting to follow these videos. I review a couple shows. The main one is my 600-pound life, and majority of my subscribers are my 600-pound life watchers. That's why I do the videos so much, because it's one of my favorite shows, and majority of my subscribers, that's what they watch. Okay. I just wanted to let you know that I appreciate you becoming a part of this channel, and also I am a reviewer that's honest. Okay, I'm not one to baby these cast members. I have to be truthful. At least I feel I do. I don't want to sit in front of you all and lie to you about how I saw the episode just to be nice, just not to piss people off. That's not my style. I feel like honesty is the best policy, and I just feel like you're going to have naysayers anyway. And I've had some. I have. People come through and the family or even the cast member gets pissed at what I had to say. You know, I'm telling you, my 600-pound life cast members, family, and friends, they get on YouTube, some of them, and purposely hunt to see what the fuck's being said. So I've already been down that road. Family members just mad. And that's fine, like I said. But once before, that is a-okay with me, because you cannot please everybody. But just to warn you, just to let you know, I'm not going to just kiss. I'm not kissing their asses. You know, if they didn't do what they were supposed to do, I'm going to say it. I do leave. I give people. I'm not really that hard in terms of I don't act like people don't have. They're not human. Everybody has room to be human. So during the weight loss journey, during most of these weight loss journeys, they slip up. They might fuck up and, go back to their old eating habits throughout the episode. And it happens, sometimes that's just what you're going to do. Addiction is powerful. You do stuff when addiction is powerful. But as long as you get back on track, and the end result, before the episode is over, that you've made some progress, that's cool with me. I can give you an excellent review. But if you're just a train wreck and you ain't doing what you're supposed to do, nah, I got to be honest. You wasted everybody's time. Nobody wanted to see that shit. All right, so moving on. Moving on. Getting into this review. Erica lives in California. She lives alone. She's over 600 pounds. She has a niece, Jessie, that comes and helps her, checks on her a couple times a week. She does the grocery shopping for her because her other family really doesn't fuck with her too tough because they feel she's an embarrassment. Some say that was hard for them to say, but they were honest. That may be a tough thing to say about family. Hey, but it is what it is. That's how they feel about her. Well, that's how they felt about her. Since the episode, Erica has made tremendous progress. I have gone to her. I went to her Facebook page, just snooping around, being nosy. And I looked to see what was going on. She's got a love interest. She lost a lot of weight today. Yes, she looks amazing. But I got to go by what happened throughout the episode. So, okay. Jessie does all of the grocery shopping. They also showed where Erica had showered. Okay. In one of the groups, right, it just reminded me of something. In one of the Facebook discussion groups, somebody posted, well, they post this all the time, but somebody just recently posted, and I caught it. Why in the world do they have to show these people showering every freaking episode? Either they first show them getting up out of bed or they're showering. Well, okay. the getting up out of bed part and the showering part, I can understand because it's difficult for them. They are trying to show the viewers how tough it is for them to take a shower alone or even take a shower with help. Even if they're taking a shower with help, it's still tough for them. So they're showing everybody how it is more of a task for them to get out of the bed. They struggle to get out of bed and how they struggle to shower. That's the whole purpose for that. Some people don't get why they have to show them taking a shower. I saw somebody in Facebook group. They claim, I don't know how true it is, and I actually do know a few of the cast members personally, so I'm going to ask the question. I should have asked it before I did this review, but whatever. I'm going to ask the question at some point. I want to know. There was discussion in one of the groups that they get paid $1,000 for that shower scene. Maybe that's why some of these cast members are doing it. I can see why TLC would want to show that because they want to show people how it's difficult for them, how it's rough for them to take a shower. But them taking a shower, obviously, they're showing private areas. And they're supposedly getting $1,000 more for that. It's probably true. I could see that being true, but I'm gonna ask just to be sure, because I'm curious. I want to know. But overall, that's why they do that. They want us to see, what's going on. Erica talked about that in the voiceover while they were showing her showering herself. Is that she's still able to do it at the time, but barely. She knows that she was just not far from somebody actually having to wipe and wash her ass. She acknowledged that. And that's a good thing. That's one thing about these cast members. I really do. I love it. I love how some of them, not all, because you have some cast members that were totally delusional and they just don't want to admit nothing. But Erica admitted that, certain things, even though it was tough for her and she had a hard time staying on track, she admitted that. She admitted it. She said, I'm not far from this. I'm not far from somebody cleaning me up and wiping me down. And, this is my reality. So I have to give her credit for being honest about some stuff. There was some other stuff in the episode she wasn't honest about. She was honest about that. Okay. So, while she's talking about her childhood and how she grew up, food has always been a big part of her life. There was always high-calorie foods being prepared in the household. So that's how she first began to get into just really eating like she shouldn't. But what heightened that and made it worse was her first sexual experience. She spoke of that. She spoke of how, her first sexual experience was basically a train. There was like a couple guys that had sex with her all at one time. And that has always been with her, and that's what drove her to eat even more. It soothed the pain of those horrible memories. So, next scene, the sister visits, and she's disgusted by the apartment. She was... I don't want to say judgmental. I don't want to say that. I don't want to use that word. I was about to say she was quite judgmental, but no. I'm not going to say that. I would say she probably was just sick and tired. She probably was just tired of the way her sister was living. Some say, I've seen some comments, and some say that the sister was a little rough on her. Can you blame her? She probably was quite embarrassed by how her sister looked. Sister was over 600 pounds. She probably was just worried about whether or not she was going to live or die. The families, sometimes they come across tough and rough, but they get sick and tired. They get tired of the bullshit. They're tired of it. And I think that's where her sister Molly was at. She was sick of her shit. She was sick of it. I think the family mostly was so tired of her to the point where they just kind of backed off and was like, okay, we tried. If you don't want to change, then you on your own. I think, I could be wrong, but that's what it seemed like. The episodes seemed like they just didn't want to keep dealing with that bullshit, man. I mean, that's just what it seemed like. So anyway, she talks about how she's, disgusted with her apartment because there's all this bad food all over the place. And in one of the voiceovers, Erica even admitted that there was enough food in that house to feed to feed a family of about between 4 to 5 people for the next 3 to 4 months. That's ridiculous. That means if you got that kind of food in there, you're taking in probably 10 to 15,000 calories in one day, which is disgusting. It's disgusting. Okay, so whatever. She lets the sister know that she talked to Dr. Now. She reached out to Dr. Now about, trying to get some help. The sister says, well, why now? Why now? How come now you want to do what you're supposed to do? She says, well, this is my rock bottom. If I don't go see this doctor, I'm going to die. So the sister said, okay, even though she was skeptical, and she said that in one of the voiceovers, the sister, she says, I'm skeptical. I don't even know if she's going to do this. But I'll help her. But I just don't believe it because she's tried to do it before and it hasn't worked. Can you not blame her? I mean, if people go by your track record, if you have a track record of not doing what you're supposed to do as far as the right thing, they're going to think you're going to continue to fail. But even though she had, she was skeptical, she still helped her. So at least she was still there to give her support. I can't take that from her. So, and that was when she called her an embarrassment. She said she's an embarrassment to the family. The way she looks is ridiculous, So Erica says, I promised my mom I would lose weight before she died, but she passed. And I'm just so regretful that when she was on her deathbed, I couldn't really lean over and hug her because I was afraid that with my weight, I would unplug something and then she'd really be dead. While she was in the hospital plugged up to everything. She regrets it. She cried about it. And she wants to, even though her mother has passed, she still wanted to fulfill that promise. Was very depressed that her sister declined her help to get to Houston. She did initially decline at first. She did. But she called her and begged her to help her. The sister was like, I have a family here and a husband. I can't just up and leave. I get that. Poor life choices on your end should not constitute an emergency on mine. I mean, some people feel that that's what you're supposed to do. Now, on the flip side of things, I do feel like there's nothing wrong with family support. I'm not saying she shouldn't have supported her, but when you fuck up your own life and your issues are self-inflicted, you cannot expect people to just drop their lives to cater to you. She literally had to beg her to help her because at first, her first initial thought was, look, I got a family, I got kids, I got a husband. I can't just stop what I'm doing for you, But she begged her. She said she would talk about it, go over it with her husband, and figure out what they're gonna do. So she finally agreed. She agreed to help her and get her set up in Houston. She said she wanted to fly down. She didn't want to drive all the way down. It's too long to be in a vehicle. That type of shit don't bother me. I've driven halfway across the country. I don't know. Some people say driving bothers them. Sometimes I do want to fly, but You know, I don't mind hopping in my car and driving from here to wherever. That doesn't get to me. But the sister said she didn't want to do that. So they flew down. So next scene, they're at the airport, and she had to pay for 3 seats. Obviously, she's 600 pounds. She cannot fit in an average size seat for an average size person. And she was quite embarrassed by that. She was embarrassed that people were looking at her and laughing. So next scene, this is when the sister talks about how she just don't think she's going to succeed. She's an embarrassment. She's skeptical. When they finally get to Houston, and it takes 2 people to pull her up out of her seat when they land in Houston, because she just was having a hard time getting up, even out of 3 seats. It was rough. They land safely, having a difficult time getting her out of the rental car. She almost fell, but she didn't. They stopped her from falling, but she came really close to falling. She gets to her hotel room, and she has an attitude problem. At first, I'm thinking her attitude is just fucked up because she's just going through withdrawals, and she don't want to deal with having to, the thought of the fact that she has to make a change. But it was actually more to it than that. She goes to the bathroom. Well, the sister can tell something's wrong with her, so she says, "What's wrong?" So she said, I got to go to the bathroom. And at her size, obviously, she needs help. So she goes to the bathroom, and she notices that there's blood in her urine. And she does not believe it's menstrual. Of course not. Of course not. You're 600 pounds. It's probably been years since she menstruated. When a woman gets that size, or if a woman has any disease that is far gone, you got to remember, weight gain is obesity, super morbidly obese. That's a disease. If you've gotten that big, or if you have any illness that is that far gone, you're not going to menstruate until you get well. Until you get well, I haven't heard of any. Not saying it hasn't occurred, but I have not heard of anybody that big or anybody with a major illness like cancer, lupus, HIV, or anything that has reached a stage 4, a woman, and they were still coming on their period. No, you're not going to come on your period. So she didn't. That wasn't menstrual blood. That was something else was going on. So that explained her bad attitude. So they get her to the hospital. She said, "I need to go to the hospital." She gets to the hospital. She tells Dr. Now what's going on. They find out she has extreme dehydration. Okay. And that's why she's, blood is coming through her urine. So they keep her in the hospital for a couple weeks. They get her hydrated. They get her weight down. So while she's in there, she loses 27 pounds. She loses 27 pounds. The family cannot stay with her in Texas, so that's why the doctor kept her in the hospital. But when he released her, he sends her back to California. She goes back. She's told she needs to lose 50 pounds by the time she comes back. The niece, Jessie, removes all of the bad foods out of her house. Erica was very upset about that. Jessie refuses to bring her any takeout. Very good. Excellent. Excellent. That's what they need. They need somebody to stand up to them and say, "No. This may be what you like. These may be the foods that taste good and, feel good to your taste buds, but they're not good for you." Usually what feel good isn't good for you. Usually, it's I know that sounds crazy. Not in all cases, but most of the time. Usually what's good to you is not good for you. So, I'm glad she did that. I'm glad the niece said no. But even though she said no, it still didn't stop Erica from ordering out. You know, with Uber, Grubhub, DoorDash, Postmates, sites like that, you can't, the internet, I'm telling you, the internet is a beast, man. The internet has shit to where you really can't control what people do. Everything is online. Everything. Probably, and probably within the next 5 years, it's gonna be worse. Well, not worse, but it's gonna be everything. Shit is gonna be so convenient to where if you're trying to keep somebody from gaining weight by not bringing them certain foods, they're gonna order it. They already got it to where you can get people to grocery shop for you and they bring it to your door. Fast food, they bring it to your door. The internet is something else. And this is why she didn't lose, I think by the time she went back, by the time she went back for her weigh-in, she didn't lose any weight. The sister finds out she's ordering food and tells Dr. Now. Dr. Now is not happy about it. He sends a nutritionist out. So the nutritionist comes out, lady named Susan Swadner. She was very nice. She wasn't like the nutritionist that came out to visit Lisa. The one that was visiting Lisa and threw out all her food, she didn't play. It was like, whatever, you're full of shit. I'm taking all this food out of here. I mean, they all end up throwing the stuff out that's not good. But Miss Swadner here, she was not as straightforward as the nutritionist that Lisa had. So, but just the fact that she threw the shit out, that Erica was heated. Oh, she was mad. I can't believe she wasted all that food. I can still order food, so the dietitian wasted her time by coming. No, she didn't waste her time. She did what she was paid to do. That's her job. She was paid to come out and throw out your food that you're not supposed to eat. Okay, so she didn't waste her time. She just did her job. So next scene, she's at her brother's for dinner. She says she wanted to make it seem like, in so many words, she wanted to make it seem like she just wanted to be around the family. I think that was partially true. I think she did want to be around the family because she wasn't used to being around the family, being that she was so big and heavy and she always stayed at home. But she admitted in her voiceover that she was using dinner as a way to ask her brother to help her come to Houston. So over dinner, and this is the scene that kind of, I'm not going to say it pissed me off, it irritated me a little bit. She asks him if he would help her, for 6 months, come down to Houston with her. And he says, well, what am I supposed to do about my boat? What am I supposed to do? Like, who's gonna foot the bill? She says, well, how much does it cost to park your boat? And he says, am I supposed to just give up what I got going on with my boat and everything? Am I supposed to just say, fuck it, And then she tries to put this guilt trip on him. That's the part I didn't like. She was like, well, your boat or your sister? And he asks her a very valid question, which it makes a lot of sense. Did I do that to you? Am I the one that put all of that weight on you? Almost like, bitch, this is your fault. You did it to yourself. Like, he didn't actually say that, but that's pretty much what he was saying. She says, no, I didn't. I did it to myself, but I really need you. So the brother's wife, she's like, well, I'm glad you're letting us know what you need. We'll discuss it and we'll get back to you with what we're going to do. We're going to try our best to help you. Next scene, Molly goes over to Erica's, looks through the refrigerator and is impressed with Erica's house and how it doesn't have a lot of bad food. She said, I'm actually kind of impressed. She said, you're doing better. She said, what'd you do with all the food? Erica says, well, I got rid of it. Come on now. You didn't get rid of it. The nutritionist did. Let's keep it 100 now. Let's be real. You didn't get rid of that food. The nutritionist got rid of it. She begs sister to help her again. Sister says she's not sure. Struggling with withdrawals, talks to the doctor, sends the therapist out to see Erica. Some lady named Diane Vogel. Let me give my opinion on her. I think she comes to Erica's house to visit her. Okay, and talk to her. I think she already had it set in her mind that Erica was going to be a challenge. So she came in there with a little bit of, not an attitude, but, that's what I took from that. She ended up giving her great advice. She ended up giving her some excellent advice as far as, what it is that she's supposed to do. But the way she first came in, it was like she was already on defense because she felt she knew Erica was going to give her an attitude. But Erica didn't give her an attitude. She didn't give her an attitude. She just expressed what she was struggling with. So the session ended pretty well. The session went okay, but it was like the therapist came in like, not like barking at her or anything, but just her energy, her demeanor was like, like that. That's what I took from that. But like I said, she ended up, they ended up talking and, well, and it went well. And it seemed like she gave her some really sound advice. Okay, so the next scene, before that scene ends, I didn't want to forget. See, this is why I got to take notes, because if I don't, I'll forget certain things. So the next scene, the therapist encourages her to journal. So she says they'll keep in touch, and she wants to see a journal next time that they meet. Okay, so next scene, they're weighed in at a local clinic. She gets weighed in at a local clinic because she's still in California. Dr. Wayne Jones, she goes to his clinic. She weighs in at 610 pounds. That means she lost 50 pounds. Her brother went with her to this weigh-in. He was very supportive. He was cheering her on, and he said, well, we need to go celebrate. So she tells Dr. Now, and he approves her for more treatment, but not surgery just yet. Her sister comes, helps her back to Houston. The brother-in-law was kind of rude. But you know what? Because there was one scene where I could have sworn he said, as he was helping her out of the apartment, to get her back down to Houston, on her way back down there, when they were leaving out, he said, just get your fat ass in get your fat ass into something. I don't know whether he was talking about the get your fat ass in the wheelchair or get your fat ass in the something. He said, just get your fat ass in something. When I first saw that, I was like, well, that's a little rough. Okay. But then my perspective changed as I continued to watch the episode. It was rough for him to say that, but I think he probably was just frustrated with all that shit that he was doing with her and for her. And she wasn't being all of that. She was being a little bit of an asshole too. Obviously, because she going through withdrawals and stuff, and she doesn't want to lose the weight. So when you lose control and when you have to give up the things that you love, you it's normal to lash out at people. So at first I was looking at him kind of side-eyed, like, why you say that to her? Like, she's on a weight loss journey. Why are you calling her a fat ass? But after watching the episode, it's like, okay, I get it now. I mean, it still was a little tough to say that, but she was being a jerk. She was kind of giving them a hard time, and they really didn't have to help her. The sister was helping her, and the sister said, but I gotta talk to my husband. When you're married, you gotta talk to your mate to see if it's okay to even go forward with stuff like that to help somebody, even if it's a family member. So they didn't have to do it. So I get why he was frustrated. The statement was a little strong, but I get why he was frustrated, because Erica was being a bitch. She was not being nice, and she admitted to that. So they fly back down, and a hospital bed is ordered to be delivered to the hotel room. Erica says it's the wrong size bed. The sister said, I don't care. You're staying in this room, whether you like it or not. You're going to stay here or whatever. I'm not taking you back nowhere. You deal with it even if you got to sleep in that fucking chair. So then that's when Erica shows her ass. She starts hollering and screaming. Well, not screaming, but she's hollering and fuck it. Just take me back to California. I'll just go and eat myself. Whatever. I'll go back to eating wrong. Or just take me back to California. That's when the real her started coming out. Because, I mean, the withdrawals were strong then. She wasn't getting her way with food. And she wasn't getting her way with her sister. You know, so I think the sister did well. Even though she came off a little strong to people and a little tough, I think she did well. You have to be stern with them. You can't just, you kiss their ass, they ain't gonna never make progress. They gonna stay 600 pounds for the rest of their life if you continue to kiss their ass. The sister Molly did excellent. That's right. She did well. Stay on her ass. And if she hadn't, she probably wouldn't have made the progress that she made today. Erica really looks good today. During the episode, sister was tough, and she needed to be. So, next scene, Dr. Nell's weigh in. She weighs in at 592. I mean, she only lost 18 pounds. The sister said, well, that's an 18-pound loss, but you still should have lost more. Well, yeah, sometimes they still should lose more when they go to get weighed in, because you can tell they still eating like they're not supposed to. But, I get it. You gotta, like I said, you got to give people room for human error. But, you know, losing is better than not losing at all or gaining. So at least she lost something by that point. Okay, so Dr. Now says she should have lost more, but glad she's losing and not gaining. Like I just said, I mean, at least she lost. At least she's not gaining or not losing. Took her a year and a half to lose the weight, but she finally started to get with it. Told her to lose another 25 pounds over the next month. If so, he'll check to see if she's a candidate for weight loss surgery because of her previous surgery. Previous surgery, she had staples put in, and he's not sure if he can do weight loss surgery again if he can't get those staples out. The sister and brother-in-law help to get her settled in her new place. Erica tells them how much, she appreciates their help. Molly says, well, show us. If you really appreciate it, us, then show us. And I think she means by losing the weight, make progress. Show us that everything we did was not a waste. So the next scene, Erica's in the hospital. She's 574, another weight loss of 18 pounds. They're checking her stomach to make sure she's okay for surgery. The results of the tests that are ran. There's a lot of damage from previous surgery, but he feels he can work around that. So Dr. Now is confident that he can work around the previous surgery that she had. He says that the cellulitis is worse, though. Dr. Now says that she hasn't been taking care of herself. Correct. She has not been cleaning around her legs. Got to wash those legs, to keep them clean. That's where infection comes from. A lot of infection comes from bacteria, meaning that you're not clean. You're not sanitary. So, I don't know. He calls that out. I'm sure he doesn't mean to embarrass them, but he calls it out when they don't keep themselves clean. And obviously not. If she's got an infection in her leg, she hasn't been washing like she's supposed to. So, he puts her on antibiotics, kept her in the hospital for a few weeks, after which released her with the goal of losing another 25 pounds. But weighed in at 547 before leaving the hospital. 4 days later, she's home, went outside, and forced herself to walk. Dr. Nell told her to be more active so she wouldn't get blood clots, because, it's very dangerous. Heavy D. That's what Heavy D died from. Pulmonary embolism. That's blood clots. That's when you have blood clots in the legs, feet, wherever, and it travels up to your lung. And once it travels up to your lung, you're dead as a doornail. That's what took Heavy D out of here. Crazy too. He was at the BET Music Awards, one of those award shows, and he was just on stage just dancing and looked healthy as hell. And then a couple of days later, he was gone. I'm telling you, that shit ain't no joke. It'll kill you. That's just an example of one person that has died from blood clots. So that's why doctor knows that. So that's why he encouraged her to be more active, so she wouldn't end up like Heavy D, because that's what Heavy D died from. Okay, so the closer she gets to surgery, she gets cold feet because she didn't think family would be there. It was depressing for her because they told her that they weren't going to be able to come. But somehow or another, they worked it out to where they were able to come and be with her while she was in surgery, going through surgery, which is very good. And I can understand that. You want your family to be there with you when you're going through such a major ordeal, because you can die on the operating table. Surgery is risky, and I could see why she was depressed when they first told her they couldn't come. But being that they made a way and they told her, they said, we're not going to let you be alone. We're going to be right here with you. The family was tough on her, and even to the point where they were embarrassed by her, but they still loved her, even though she was a handful. They still loved her and they still helped her. Very good. They were supportive. Excellent. Good family here. Good family. So Dr. Now is able to remove the staples from the previous surgery and a gastric sleeve is performed. The family was very supportive. They were happy for her, proud of everything that she had accomplished. And they had an outing afterwards, not long after surgery, after she recovered some, and they went out and they enjoyed life together. I think they went to like a museum or the aquarium or something, and they had like a family outing. And Erica said that was like the first family outing that she had with them in a long time. She lost the weight, she was able to do that. So I'm happy for her. I'm glad she got it together. She's got a new boo now. She got a relationship going on, and she lost a lot of weight, and big ups to her. I wish Erica all the best. That's the end of this review. 37 minutes. Y'all motherfuckers are killing me. Meaning I am I'm doing a lot of taking notes and rewatching episodes and making these reviews long so that I can get everything, most of what happened through the episode out per request. But like I said, I don't complain. I enjoy doing this when I have the free time. When I'm not at work, when I'm not in school, nursing school, I love it. I really do love to do this. I love to see you all's input and how you feel about the show. I love to see you guys comment and everything, and it's great. So I'm glad you watched, and I'm glad that you're a part of this channel, and you've taken the time to tune in. Thank you. So I'm wrapping this up. Follow me on other social media platforms. Description box will have the information to where you can find me on other social media platforms. And the end of this video will have that information. Peace and blessings. Thank you for watching.